So why did you get into politics?
Ooh, I grew up in a politics family, really. I mean, one of my, well, not my earliest memory, but one of my earliest acts, I suppose, was to go on the Aldermaster marches about with the CND in a pushchair at the time with my parents, and sometimes in the sidecar on their motorbike. So it's kind of been in the blood, really, in a way. Although my mum's parents were actually Tories. Mum took a slightly left turn, and I started the Beneficence, I suppose, when I was about sort of 7 or 8, running to the polling station. It's just sort of been something you grew up with, and I find it kind of sort of very fundamental. It's about, the Labour Party for me is about equality and opportunity and fairness for all, not just those who can afford to buy it, not just those who can afford to buy good private healthcare or education. It's about offering those same opportunities for good healthcare and education, but to everybody, free. It shouldn't be a matter of how much you can afford to buy. It should be yours as of right, because it's just so fundamental. I just can't see any way that it shouldn't be like that.
How long have you lived in High Peak, Caitlin, and what do you like about it?
We moved to High Peak just under 20 years ago. When I had my first child, Tasha, I decided I didn't want to go back to work because I was working on a local paper, as a daily paper, as a journalist, and there was no childcare around at the time, or very little, and what there was very expensive, and there was no way I could work and have a young child. And anyway, I wanted to spend time with her. I didn't want to go back to work. So we decided that we would move away from where we had been living, because my husband was working over this way anyway. It made more sense for him to have less travelling to work. So we looked around and just fell in love with High Peak, really. We've been here on holidays before, camped up at Edale and walked up on the moors and on Kinder Scout. And it's just such a lovely, lovely place. We lived in Chinley to start off with, and then moved to Buxton about 10 so years ago. A bit more than that now. You've got a nice mix of, it's not too far into Manchester by train, or even Sheffield if you want. But there's just this amazing countryside around, so it's a good sort of mix of city if you want it, and countryside as well. So it's just an amazing place.
Somebody told me that you've been a volunteer at the Leeds Festival. Is this true?
Yes, it is. Yes,
How did that happen?
How did that happen? Just over not sure, far short of this time last year, my daughter got tickets for Leeds, and there was Kings of Leon and Radiohead, and I've forgotten who Arctic Monkeys, Kaiser Chiefs were on the lineup, and some of whom I'd seen, some of whom I hadn't seen, and Tasha got tickets, and I sort of looked at it and thought, well, I've always kind of fancied going to a festival, but never actually sort of done it. And the tickets had all gone by then anyway, because it sold out in seconds last year. But on the website there was a section where you could volunteer. So, that's different. So I volunteered and got a free ticket for the whole weekend. Had to go up on the Thursday rather than the Friday. Always at Wednesday even. And just had an amazing time. Took me little tent and saw lots of bands for free. Some bands I wouldn't have seen otherwise. And it's amazing to sort of see the festival site going up, and you start out with this amazing green field on the Thursday and the Friday, and by Sunday it's just brown mud, and by Monday morning it was brown mud, and there were fires on the campsites, and you were going around filling up water bottles and putting out the fires. Archetypally people say that young people are interested in the environment. I've never seen so many fires, aerosols, all sorts of things just sort of thrown away. So one of our tasks was not just to put out the fires, but to go around and collect the camping equipment that could be salvaged. Brand new fold-up collapsible chairs, tables, you name it, we found it, and they were all parcelled up and sent off to places like Oxfam. Tents, we took down tents and parcelled them up, and they can be used in aid relief. Abroad, so some good came out of it, but it was an amazing 5 days.
Would you go again?
Yeah, I would. I would go this year, but I'm working at the time the festival's on.
Yeah.
But Latitude, it's actually doing Latitude actually, that's supposed to be a nice one. Apparently a bit more civilised than Leeds. Leeds is a
Yeah.
bit hardcore.
Yes, I think you went for a tough one.
It was good though, it was good.